S over 5.5. Just to remind you what 5.5 is all about. Now notice, 5.5 is only one side of the page. Yes, it's practice quiz, 5.5. The other side of the page is practice quiz 5.6. And then we will have a quest over 5.5 and 5.6. All right? I don't know. Whenever it happens, it happens. Okay. I do not plan my lessons around you guys' vacations.
You should. I'm leaving tomorrow.
What?
I wish I was. No, actually, that would technically line up for weeks to be your class.
I'm leaving for spring break.
Guys, if you're leaving for one class,
Me and Peter going on a ski trip.
today and Thursday.
All right, so here we go. This is a review. Solve triangle CHS. We know H is 62. We know S is 53. And we know H, side H, notice the lowercase letter, is 10. All right, everybody okay with that picture?
Yeah.
Now, solve means find the rest of the stuff. So in other words, we have to find angle C, we have to find side C, and we have to find side S. So what do we do? What? So I can do sine 62 over 10. Right there, right? We're going to learn today that you're not always going to have that. Pair.
5.6.
If you've got the pair, then you're going to law signs. So sine 62 over 10 equals sine 53 over S. And then we will redo another proportion. Let's multiply. So S sine 62 equals 10 sine 53. And after we cross multiply, we always divide. And then we go to our calculator. 10 sine 53 divided by sine 62. Oh, shoot. I had my calculator in the wrong room. Did you get 9.04? By 9.045. Okay, good start. Now what? We can figure out angle C. Angle C will be, is it 65?
Yeah.
I think so. So 65, how did I know that? Because the angles of a triangle have to add up to 180. Now what? Well, we're down to one more thing. Well, how do I find that last thing? Sine 62 over 10 equals sine 60 5 over C. Boom. 10.265. Tomorrow, or next time I see you, which I guess is Thursday, you're gonna have a problem. It's just like this. You're gonna have to go and do it. Okay? Now there's gonna be a second problem. It says, how many triangles are possible? Now you guys, listen. What are the possible answers to this question?
0, 1, or 2.
0, 1, or 2. So you're either gonna get a 0, you're gonna get a 1, you're gonna get a 2. Let's look at the triangle and see if we can figure it out. Here's the given. First thing I notice immediately is this right here.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yep, ding, ding, ding is right. That means sine 39 over 10 equals sine B over 14.
Yep. Times 4. No.
Cross multiply. 10 sine B equals 14 sine 39.
Divide 10.
Divide by 10. Remember, sines don't separate from their angles. That's a unit. So divide by 10. So sine B equals this. Now, if you just type that in, you're going to get some kind of decimal. That is not what you need to do. You need to figure out angle B. So what do I type in if I want the angle? Second sign. So second sign, this decimal. And you're going to get an answer or you're not. If you don't get an answer, that means there are no possible triangles. I did get an answer, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
61.77. Last night, yesterday, sometime, we're down at the Horizon League basketball championship. And which my son is in charge of, so that's why we're there. Had his kids with us. Some team got up to 67 points, and my grandchildren were like, it was embarrassing. Look, I don't know, look, 67, 67.
Well, yeah, I don't get it.
Huh?
Wait, who won?
I don't get it either.
Who won the Horizon? It's not over yet.
It's not over. They play today. There's
Isn't
4
that
games
Jack?
today.
4 teams left.
Thanks, Royce.
Wait, is that Jack Gold?
I can name one if you want.
We saw Northern Kentucky
Is Oakland in there?
and
Is that like the...
Northern
Always on
Kentucky.
mission.
Wait, did they do this too? What did you say?
Men. And then we saw for the women, it
Wait,
was
St. Peter's not right.
Which four were they doing?
IU Indy and Purdue Fort Wayne.
Was it doing like the same thing?
Your Doug, it's like a training assistant, you know, like, so being Catholic school.
All right, now, we got an answer.
Focus back up.
Now we gotta check to see if there are 2. So remember, if there is another one, none of the given is changing. That can't change. If there's another one, that angle will be different, and it will be 180 minus the first angle you got. So let's see. That would be 118.23. So this one I got by second signing.
180 minus 39.
And then this one I got by taking 180 minus the first one I got. Is that possible?
Nope. It's like, yes, it is. Wait. Because there's still enough room for 180 total. It doesn't go, because it doesn't go.
Yeah, that's fine. What's the rule for a triangle? Gotta be 180.
What crap?
39 and 118 is not 180.
No. So we've got
So
two.
there's room for more. Therefore, there are two possible solutions. If this answer had been 158, then that wouldn't work, and there would be only one answer. That is our quiz tomorrow. Or whenever. All right. Get your notes back out.
Wait, did we finish? No.
Keep that practice quiz, the other side's 5.6. Use that. This is 5.5. This is 5.6. All right, 5.6 notes. Here we go. You guys, pay attention. This is some of the easiest stuff we do all year. You're allowing yourself to be distracted, and you're not focusing. Guess what? We're not slowing down. Solve triangle CHS. This is notes, page 55. We just did that on our quiz. Solve triangle CHS.
We sure did.
There's no pair.
But there's no pairs.
We have that.
And if there is no pair, guys, if there's no pair, then you aren't going to be able to set up your law signs. Now, you could set it up. You could say sine 58 over C equals sine S over 12. You could absolutely do that. That's a true statement.
Yeah, it is.
But the problem with it is it's got two variables in it. If you're going to do the law of signs, you have to have one of these fractions complete. Otherwise, you have too many variables. So, not going to do the law of sines. We're going to do the law of cosines. And when I first write it down, you're going to be frightened of it, but it's going to end up being so easy.
I only fear God.
Okay.
I'm scared.
Now, when you're doing the law of cosines, because of the way the pairs don't fall, there's only going to be one angle involved. I mean, think about it. If I had another angle, wouldn't I automatically have a pair? So there's only going to be one angle involved. When you write the law of cosines, on one end of the equation goes the cosine of that angle. On the other end of the equation, so one equation, on the other end of the equation goes that angle's side squared. So since that is angle C, this is side C. And then everything in the middle is a patterned combination of the other two sides. So your 58's out there, your C squared is over here, and then in the middle, I have 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12, cosine 58. So notice, it's, here are my two sides. So 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2, that's part of the formula, minus 2 is built in, 10, 12, cosine 58. Now, we'll write out the formula in a minute, but it's really easy to memorize the pattern, I think. Anyhow, let's go ahead and finish the problem. Can I type this in on my calculator?
Probably, yeah.
I would say
I was gonna say
10 squared 12 squared and when you type it all in, you get like 116. But be careful, what is that? That's not C, that is C squared. We're gonna have to take the square root of that. Take the square root of that. So when you get all this typed in, you just type it in, and equal, make sure you square root it, and C turns out to be 10.81.
We should on the calculation.
Huh?
We should on the calculation.
Wait.
Which one that is?
How much you get?
116 or something. Now, look at my picture now. Now I got a pair. So now I can do my law of sine. So sine 58 over 10.81 equals sine, pick it, S
Since
over 12. And then I'll do what I always do, cross multiply. So 12 sine 58 equals 10.81 sine S. And after I cross multiply, I will divide. And what am I going to divide by? What?
10.1.
10.81. So 12 sine 58 over 10.81 equals sine S. Now, kids, do not just type this in. That is not S. That is sine S. So in order to get S, you're going to have to do what? Second sine 12 sine 58 divided by 10.81. I got 70.29.
Same.
And once I got that one, then it's easy to get that one by adding up and subtracting so 51.71. All right, let's look at angle B, problem B. Wait a minute. What's going on here?
Side, side, side.
Attaboy, Jim.
Congruence postulate, so I don't need to worry about how many answers are there. There's gonna be an answer. How do I find it?
Law.
Well, I gotta be all cosines. Gotta be all
Yeah, there's a
cosines.
law.
You can't be on
It has to be the all cosines.
Oh,
It cannot be,
that was bait. That could get back.
it can't be anything else, because I don't have a pen.
That makes
So-
sense.
In order to do all cosines,
I don't want to.
I need an angle. So I'm just gonna randomly pick the biggest angle. I like to start with the biggest one. How do I know that's the biggest one? Because it's got the biggest side, yeah. So I'm just gonna do angle H. So, on this end of the problem goes cosine H. And what goes on this end of the problem? What?
H squared, right?
Well, but I got numbers this time. Is it gonna be 7.6 squared?
Six.
So what is across from the angle I use? That's the thing that's over here. Now, in the middle, do you remember that combination? In the middle, I'm going to be using these other two sides. And I square them both. Remember what happens else?
Minus
Minus
two.
two.
Minus 2
Times the
times
numbers.
Times the numbers.
the numbers be times each other. That's exactly right. That is your law of cosines. Now, this one is going to be a little bit tougher to type in. Simply because the variable is kind of stuck over here in the middle of some other stuff. So here's what I suggest. Let's go ahead and do the arithmetic. Let's figure out what 7.6 squared is.
57.
And let's figure out what 6.4 squared is. 3.2. And let's go ahead and multiply all this together. So 2 times 6.4 times 3.2, 40.96 cosine H. Are you with me on that first step? The reason I had you do this is, I think at this point, you can solve this. You won't do anything wrong. What kids do often when they start right here is, they just type all this into one number. And you can't, because this has a cosine, these parts do not. So these parts can be added. You see that? These can be added. That cannot be combined with those. So 57.76 equals 51.2. There's some tapping going on. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing here. Does that look about right? Now, what do I do now? Subtract the 51.2. And then I will divide so I've got 6.56 equal to negative 40.96 H. Cosine H. So I subtracted this over here. And then I'll divide. And then what will I type in on my calculator? Inverse. So inverse cosine, 6.56 divided by negative 40.96. I got 99.22.
Probably pretty good rating.
How it's worth 6.56 divided by
Inverse cosine. You have to inverse cosine. If all you type is a fraction, you're not gonna get H. The only way to get H is to inverse cosine.
got 93.
Now what?
No.
If you enjoyed that so much, could you redo the process for angle S, let's say?
Yeah.
You totally could. However, at this point, you now can use the law of sines if you wish. You don't have to, you can stick with cosine. I'm gonna go ahead and do my law of sines. So sine 99.22 over 7.6 equals sine S over 64. And what am I going to type in? What did I type in? Inverse sine. Is that 64?
6.4.
$56.22 is what I got. And then I'll subtract from 180 and get 24.56. Word of caution. If you did repeat the law of cosines, you may be off by a decimal place because you actually would be more accurate. Because when I decided to go with the law of sines, that's a rounded off answer, isn't it? And so that's going to distort a little bit. So just be aware that if you do it a little bit differently than I do, it might be off by just a tad, but that's because we did things in a different order or we used different numbers. All right, before we go on to the next one, I want to get the law of cosines written down for you. What letters do you want to use? PQR, ABC, XYZ, I don't care, what do you want to use? XYZ, here we go. Law of cosines, I'm only going to write one version of it, there are 3 versions, but you don't need to write them all, they're all the same, just arrange them. So, we're going to have triangle, XYZ. Whatever angle we are using, I'll use X. Means on the other end, I'm going to have X squared. Right? We're doing it in general now. So you can say you have a formula. Even though for most of you this is going to make it harder. Because the letters are never gonna be X, Y, Z.
I don't need a red.
They're gonna be something different. What's gonna be in the middle? If you're doing X, angle X, then he's on this end, and this is X squared.
Y
This is
squared.
Y squared plus Z squared. These are lowercase. Y and
Minus
Z.
2
Minus 2
sine x.
Y, Z. That's it. That's the law of cosines. So it works. All right. Problem C. Big C is 57, little c is 11, and little b is 10.
We don't have to do it.
Eli says this is not a law of cosines problem. Why is it not? He's right. We have a pair.
Already up there.
You may notice anything about it though?
There we are.
Angle, side, side. That means we might have one triangle to solve, we might have two triangles to solve. Or none. Maybe that's what we hope for. Let's see. So sine 57 over 11 equals sine B over 10. Goodness gracious. No, there's nothing down there. Just try it. I'm nothing. I think, truly, whatever I have is like settled in my ears because I feel like a weevil. I just feel like I have this all the time.
Oh no,
All right, here we go. So 10 sine 57 equals 11 sine B. All right, this is the moment of truth. What do I type in? I set up my law code or my law signs, cross multiplied, divided, second sine, 10 sine 57 divided by 11. Shoot, I got 49.68. So I'm gonna have to finish that triangle, but before I do, I wanna make sure I don't forget, there could be another one. With the same exact given, but what would the other triangles and the B have to be? 180 minus that, which is 130.32. We dodged a bullet. Because that one won't exist, will it? So we only have this triangle to solve. Alright, what's left to find? Last angle is easy. What'd you get for your last angle here? 73.32. And then the only thing left to find is A. So I'll do sine 57 over 11 equals sine 73.32 over A. some of us, I got 12.56. Some of us are having a difficult time knowing when to just type it in and when to do inverse. So who can remind us, what is that? How come this time I just typed it in?
When you're finding an angle, you use
When I'm
inverse.
finding an angle, I've got to inverse. Because when I'm finding an angle, my variable is something like this. Here, my variable is 1, 1. So I just type it in. Okay? All right, let's see what's on the next page. Find the area of the
No, that's
triangle.
not the very side.
Find the area of the triangle. What do you think of when you think of area? 1/2 base times height. And that is what I think of too. And I want you to think about all the triangles we've looked at in the last few days. What is always missing? Never know the height. Never know the height. Could we find the height? Usually, but luckily for us, there are other ways. So let's look at this first problem. Now, I know what you're thinking. I hope you're thinking anyway. When you look at that triangle, you're thinking the law of cosines. But that's for solving the triangle. That's for finding sides and angles. That is not for doing area. This is derivable. We don't have time to get into it, and I don't think any of you are very interested in it anyhow. So I'm just going to tell you. The area of this triangle is incredibly easy. Incredible. It's 1/2, 32, 19, sine 47. In other words, I do no work. I just type it in on my calculator. Now, this will always work if you have two sides and the angle in between them. The angle's gotta be in between them. Two sides and an angle in between. That will always give you the area. 1/2 multiplied sides, sine of the angle. So your area, without any work at all on your part, is 222.33. And in this case, it would be square feet. One of the easiest things we do with the entire year, and it's so easy. Okay, Michael says, I'm gonna guess it's harder. Well, it doesn't really get harder, but let's look at this next one. So now we know this is 43, this is 57, and this is 12. I want you to think about this for a second. What did we say we needed to find the area? We need two sides and the angle in between them. Okay, obviously I'm missing what? A side. I need a side. Now, it's going to be doable no matter which one I find, but I don't care which side I find. Side C? You can find side C.
Let's do that.
Before I can do that, I need to know angle C. Is that 80? So sine 57 over 12. I'm not doing area. I'm finding a missing piece in order for me to do area. So sine 57 over 12 equals sine 80 over C. We're getting good at cross multiplying, we do it over and over and over again. Am I gonna need the inverse sign this time? Nope. I'm gonna type it in. Did you get 14.09?
Yeah.
That okay? Now look at what you've got now. You've got two sides. And you have the angle in between them. Gotta use that angle. So my area is gonna be 1/2 my two sides times the sine of 43. Now, a little favor with you, instead of retyping in the 14.09, isn't that the last thing, isn't that the last thing on your screen right now? Yeah, so let's just go ahead and leave it on there and do times 12 times 1/2 times sine 43. And we don't have any round off there. So I got 57.66 square centimeters. 1/2. Side, side, side. That's how we do area. Side, side, side.
Next one.
What if, remember I said you had a choice, what if you defined side A instead? That's okay, but then your area would be 1/2 12A sine 80. Because you gotta use the angle that's between your sides. All right, we're gonna get the next one done. The last one for the day.
Yeah. 3 sodas.
This is a very real situation. Because a lot of times, like you think about your property, something your property is in a triangle, you know how long your lot lines are, but you don't really know any of the angles. Here's what we got. We're find the areas. What do I need? What do I not have? I don't have an angle. So which angle do you want to find? Here. A? Go for A? How am I going to do that? Gotta be all cosines. So 16 squared on this end, and cosine A on this end. And then what's in the middle? 10 squared. Plus 12 squared. See how easy it is? You've done it a few times. Now be careful typing this in. Can I subtract these two over here to this side? And that one and this one subtract over.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. 16 squared minus 10 squared minus 12 squared. Okay, so over here, I now have 12. That all worked out to be 12. Equals, can these be multiplied together? Negative 240 cosine A. I do not want you to get lost in the arithmetic here. this number and this number can be added together and subtracted over here. These cannot be, because they're hooked to a cosine. They can be multiplied, but they stay with their cosine. So now what? You got what?
Like 92.
You said 200?
How did you get close?
256.
Oh, that's 60 because that's not 6. Oh, it's like 6. That's
Minus.
I got it now. I put 6 square root.
I second cosine and got 92.87. Just to keep things interesting, because I know what's coming. I'm gonna go ahead and keep a few more decimal places. 8, 6, 5, 9, 8, 3, 9, 8.
Whoa, okay.
No, I remember.
It's like nothing. You got your side
Remember, my goal was to find the area. Now, can I do the area?
You sure can.
So 1/2 10 times 12 times sine A,
What are you asking?
which is that big angle right there. So I've got that on my
What are you
calculator.
asking?
So 1/2 times 10 times 12 times sine.
12 equals -2.
I got 59.92.
So, yeah. You divide by -2.
And that squares under. Now, I want you to do something for me. I want you to type this in on your calculator. So I want you to type those 4 numbers, multiply them, and then square root that product, and tell me what happens. Whoa,
Whoa. But how do you stop?
that is freaky.
Yeah, I don't know how you find all that. Yeah, like, where you get that from, the 3 and 7.
We have another way of finding area, which we only use if we have all 3 sides. There's way too much round off error involved if you use it otherwise. But if you have all 3 sides, Hero's formula says this. Actually, his name was Aaron of Alexandria, Aaron, but it got abbreviated along the way to Hero. So area
Flying crowd.
is the square root of S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. Now, I bet you can guess what the little a, little b, and little c stand for. We're talking about a triangle. What do the little letters stand for? So this is side A, side B, side C. Now what is S? Well, S is called the semi-perimeter. Now, before you start like, what? Think. What's a semicircle?
Oh, it's half a circle. So this
So
gotta be half
what's
a perimeter.
semi-perimeter? Half the perimeter. So the first thing I did was find the perimeter of my triangle, which is 38. 38. So then took half of it, which is 19, that's where that came from.
No way.
And then I did 19 minus 12, 19 minus 16, and 19 minus 10. The order I do those doesn't matter. You just take your semi-perimeter and subtract each side from it, multiply those four things together, take the square root, and that will be your area.
And that's just if you got all the sides, right?
Just if you have one side. Because Jackson, you think about it for a second. If this side, if I done the wall, both sides just on the side, then if I found the perimeter, it would be round off in that. And then there would be round off here, here, and one of those. So there's so many round offs. Alright, so I hope you listen to Jackson. When do we do Heroes Formula? When we have all three sides given to us.
I was telling you it was